Okay, good morning guys. Right, so just a quick heads up. Last week I tried multiple days streaming and intermittently we were getting streams disconnected. No idea why, but I'm going to keep an eye on it today. Hopefully everything goes all right and we don't get the disconnections. So yeah, let's crack on. Let's see how we do. First thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to increase my window size here because it's a little bit, I don't know why, for some reason it's coming in small all the time lately. Actually, do you know what I need to do? So I'm just going to go to actual size, press Control N, draw out my model, T to put it into edit mode, and I'm just going to go to preferences, config, store config. I must have had it stored on a lower resolution at some point previously, and every time it loads in now it's coming in by default on that lower resolution, which is not great. Well, it's not great, it's just a faff having to change it every time. So I've got my coffee, I've got my model, let's get stuck in. Okie dokie. If you're on the stream today and you want to just jump in and introduce yourself, say hello, have a chat, tell me what you're up to. I always welcome the interaction. Okay, so this guy is essentially done. Let's get the spear into his hand. What pose did Adam request for this one? Let me just double check. I've got a feeling it's like a two-handed like stabbing pose. I can't remember off the top of my head. He wants him kneeling with the spear. Okay, right then, so let's hide my ruler because it just part of the scene, but it does cause you problems when you're trying to pose. I also need a new base in the scene because the bases we're using on these guys are actually 30mm bases. So I need to make sure I've got that in the scene, so when this guy's, well, 30mm base, sorry, when the guy is actually posed, there we go. I need to make sure that the footprint of his stance is within that 30mm boundary. Hey, Okella, how you doing? And in that way, he will be good to go. How was your weekend, mate? Save this image so I don't forget it. Just chilling. Good way to start a day, mate. I've been doing some errands this morning. Far away, matey, far away. What you got? if you wanted to apply for some mini sculpting printing company, what's the best place to look those companies up? Oh, I mean, you can go on to a place like My Mini Factory and you'll see all the companies that are producing digital stuff. You want to be looking for anybody that's got ideally in excess of about 1,500 subscribers. If they've got more than 1,500 subscribers, they'll be bringing in enough money that they can afford to sub out commission work. There's also actual miniature companies around and about. I would suggest probably just go and have a look on your hobby stores, see what companies are producing the products that you like the look of, that you'd like to kind of make. This is if you're thinking about doing kind of like actual physical, like miniatures for games. So for example, I'm doing some work at the moment with like futsal miniatures. Now they sell their models directly, so you, like with those guys, you wouldn't necessarily find them if you went to like Element Games or I don't know, any of the other big hobby gaming stores. And then there is obviously always Games Workshop, and they're often hiring and they put notifications out, and yeah, with those ones, it's worth considering that, you know, there'll be a good company to work for, it'll be a good like mark on your portfolio. The only downside is, as far as I'm aware, they don't let you work remotely, which means you've got to be working in Nottingham in the UK. I mean, you can get visas and work permits and all that kind of thing sorted, that's not a drama. But it's the relocation aspect, if you've got to be willing to do that. And you might find other companies that are the same. I mean, there's Reaper Miniatures, they're in Texas, I think. But I think they might let you do subcontract actually, like remote working. That might be one worth looking at. You've got game companies who are actually making... You're willing to run away. You've got game companies that are making... There's quite a lot of companies actually in Nottingham. So Nottingham in the UK is known as the Lead Belt. So it was where Games Workshop was founded, but obviously because of Games Workshop being there and being such a big player in the industry, there's a lot of people who work there kind of have gone on to set up their own businesses. So you've got like Wall Order in the area, and a lot of those guys are ex-GW. So Nottingham's got quite a decent amount of, like I say, gaming stores, gaming companies rather. You've got, who else now? I'm trying to think of companies that would likely sub out. I'll tell you what there is. Let me just have a little look. I might have to do this a little bit later on for you. I'll post it into the Discord server. There is a YouTube, not YouTube, there's a Facebook group, I think it is. Or might even be a page where they regularly post jobs up there that have been posted elsewhere in the gaming community. Sometimes it's game development, sometimes it's design, sometimes it's sculpting work, all sorts of anything to do with like war gaming or tabletop gaming and board gaming and whatever else it is, kind of ends up here. They don't necessarily post regularly, and they're not the people who are posting the jobs, if you know what I mean, but they post the links to the jobs and they show you what's where. So it's a good one to have just to keep your ear to the ground. I usually, if I see things on there that I know are kind of in my mates' ballparks and stuff, I'll kind of tend to send them to them. So I can keep an eye out for you. But obviously, if I see, if I can grab the link, remember later on, I'll grab the link, I'll post it in the group, and you can sign up and just subscribe to it and just follow it yourself. Then, if that's easier for you, you won't miss anything then. What was that? Oh yeah, I do need that. So Yeah, it's just trying to keep your ear to the ground really, and trying to suss it out. And again, obviously, it helps to have an idea of the kind of thing you want to do. Having some kind of like portfolio ready to prep for it as well. I know we've discussed this before. If you want to get a portfolio ready, you want to kind of, if you want to work for Games Workshop, you need to go and buy a few Games Workshop models that you like the look of, and then just clone them, like replicate the sculpt from scratch, to prove to them that you can style match, but also that you can sculpt their kind of thing. And the more of those kind of things that you end up sculpting, the more naturally it will come to try and sculpt in that style as well. So, you know, if you want to work for Corvus Belli and you want to sculpt Infinity Miniatures, or God, what's their fantasy game called now? I forget the name of the fantasy game, but if you want to sculpt models for them, buy a few of their models, copy the style, copy the models, sculpt in that style, send off an application to them. I think those guys are in Spain. And then obviously there's board game companies. You go and have a look at the guys on Kickstarter. Anybody who's running Kickstarters or game fan campaigns, if they're making like miniature type board games, ping them a message, send them your portfolio, and see how you get on. Have I got a copy of this? I don't think I have. I'm going to duplicate in, hide my first one. Beastmen, Spearman. Do I want to pose? I'll take his arm off first, I think. That's auto group actually, because that's spear's actually one piece, but it's already in about 8 groups by the look of it. Oh shit! I've just done that, and now it's you bumhole. I was just saying as well, mate, I had bad times last week trying to stream and having things die on me. My stream kept cutting off. So hopefully the stream will stay live this time around and I won't get the drop-offs like we had last time. But if we do, I'm prepared for it. So, he said my microphone's got no signal here. I'm going to split mask. Take his arm off. I'll do the same with the other arm just for ease of posing. Masked. Right, there we go. How's your sculpting project coming along, Keller, anyway? Sam over on Facebook, good morning. Thanks for the like. Okay, so we're going to get this guy in a kind of a kneeling pose. So isolate his leg, unmask it, or mask everything else rather. Position it to where I want it. Yeah, man, keep your pace stable for yourself. Don't try and push yourself because it'll burn you out. Made a mistake right from the off. Rosie, how we doing, mate? How's it going, dude? Yeah, sound, man. Absolutely sound. We're all knackered after the weekend now. I've been hitting the gym, and kids decided they were going to do their first park run. It's like an organised event over here where they go to like local parks and like obviously run. But no one's used to no one's used to the strain of it, so we've just had everybody just exhausted and knackered the weekend. Jim. Oh, Jim. Jim has wrecked my my chest and my back and my shoulders. He's a fiend. Yeah, Jacob does his kickboxing, and he's now that he's finished his swimming lessons, he wants to like. Well, basically, instead of carrying on paying his fees for swimming lessons, he wants to have the upgrade to his kickboxing, so that he can go kickboxing more often. And they do a cracking family deal in there, so I got my gym membership for a steal with his upgrade. It feels wrong, man. If that knee feels so high up. Might bruise easily. Got furry skin. I'll tell you though, he's got some power on him. He has. Got one of those body pads, like a full body kind of like. It's almost like a big padded shield. So I'm holding the shield, and he's kind of like he's wailing on it, and he's kind of like pummeling the hell out of this shield thing. And he hit it so hard. I thought he broke my finger. I was braced holding it. I just felt like my little finger go. I know. We'll start doing the boxing at the gym so I can put him in his place if he gets out of line. It's still not feeling quite right, this isn't. Are you working today, Rose, or are you on a rest day? It's hard work sometimes, this is trying to get like a good pose on a model. Right, what to do? What to do? Oops, I appear to have unmasked all his lower half. Hey, crazy idea, mate. Good weekend? Yeah, it's a bit of a rarity. Do you know why? 'Cause it's bloody awkward to pull off. It's quite a difficult thing to do a kneeling pose and actually have it look good. What I'm going to do with it, I'm going to bring this forward like that here. Very good, mate, very good. See, I know it looks like it's a hard slog trying to put the chainmail on individual rings at a time and everything like that, but it really is quite quick. Did you use my actual chainmail like insert mesh, or did you just make your own? Stupid thing here, look at this. Messed up all the fur on the edge. Got to redo that in a minute. No, it really is. One of the things I'd say, I do have an actual scale mail insert as well, which I did for the same, following the same. So with this one, it is the same. It's basically like a little shield type thing. But you can see it's like a wedge. So if I go for my brush depth, bring it down. We've got the depth a bit too much here, but you can see the principle's the same. By creating in a wedge shape, when you apply it, the pointy tip of the scale always protrudes up more than the rest of it. So when you apply it on a completely flat plane, you'll always have that kind of nicely like layered look to your scale mail. I should put that one up on the do a little video tutorial on that one and put it in there as a freebie, I think. Because you can use that one for like dragon scales as well. It's not just for scale mail. You can use the same kind of thing. I still need to make a dragon at some point. I've put it off for so long. But the thing is, like the stuff I'm sculpting, or the stuff I'm supposed to be sculpting, when I'm looking at my Descent into Avernus stuff, at some point I've got to sculpt Tiamat, and I don't feel like that should be the first dragon I sculpt. I've sculpted like pseudo dragons and miniature dragons and stuff like that, but I've not done an actual dragon. Yeah, I've accidentally locked the camera. That's why it weren't moving. Right, I need to lock his arm. Let's put this arm on first. Let's deal with this absolute garbage anatomy I've created. It's one of the things when you pose models the way, or when you sculpt the models the way I do. There's sometimes when you end up absolutely destroying your anatomy, absolutely like killing it. And in those kind of cases, this is where I was talking on one of my streams last week. I forget which one it was. I was talking about like the fear of getting things wrong and whatever, kind of holding you back. Like you're so worried about doing things in the right way that you end up essentially kind of holding yourself back because you're worried about failing, right? And one of the idea of just sculpting stuff, which sounds simplistic, but I'm probably not explaining it very well. What I mean is, if I make a mistake, you don't want to be relying on ZBrush retaining your undo history, because, as I'm sure you well know by now, there'll come a point where this undo bar suddenly goes back to here, and you've lost all of your undo all of your undo history. And it happens more than I would like. So I've come to just not rely on it at all, because the more you try and rely on it, the more of a crutch it becomes, the more it holds you back, because you're so paranoid and worried about things breaking and not working or whatever else, that you can't kind of move ahead. But if you can get used to the idea of, do you know what, if it goes wrong, I'll just rework it, I'll just resculpt it, I'll sculpt over it and whatever, then obviously it helps, you know what I mean? it's the, you know what, my ear was hurting. I've got a bloody earpiece in from I was at the dog for a walk this morning. I forgot to take my Bluetooth earpiece out. It's like making me ear hurt. Not even using it. Not connected to anything. Okay. Right then, let's that's sorted-ish. Yeah, I find elbows are quite a difficult thing to try and get your head around sometimes. Hands are obviously difficult and annoying. However, as you kind of alluded to there, you've always got a hand in front of your face. You know, unless you happen to be unfortunate, like the Perry twin who lost it in a cannon accident. In which case, I apologise for rubbing it in your face. So. Yeah, I'll never forget seeing that when I was younger. We had, I used to collect White Dwarf magazines, and I always remember there was an episode, or an issue of it rather, where they were doing a little feature piece on the Perry twins. Are they twins or brothers? Either or. Point was, they used to do Civil War reenactments. And they were sculpting all the models for Games Workshop's Warhammer Fantasy range and whatever else. They're obviously prolific historical sculptors and stuff now as well. But they're big history buffs, and they actually used to do historical reenactments. I don't know if they may still do. And one of the brothers, and I can never remember which one it was, but one of them got his hand blown off by a cannon. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, lost his hand to a cannon doing a Civil War reenactment, like is it War of the Roses or something like that. Yeah, basically historical reenactment. Blew his arm off with hand off with a cannon. Basically had to relearn to sculpt using a prosthetic hand, but it was like he had the hand developed with like little hooks and grips and tools and stuff incorporated it before he sculpted him. You know, absolute legend of a guy. I remember reading the feature article in White Dwarf and thinking, bloody hell. You got these days, people can't go to work because they've got anxiety. Poor guy lost a hand and had a prosthetic made to let him keep going to work. Right, save. Don't lose my work. Right, guys, I'm going to show you now. This is why, see I put all this chainmail in. This is why you don't put chainmail in before you've posed. That. See all that funky distortion that's happening? That is why we don't detail before we've posed. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go in and delete the you have to delete the deformed rings. Let's get my light box, brush, chainmail brush. Let's get my size, go for brush, bring it down below the, I think normally go for about -25 or -30. I'm going to try and figure out what size I used. That's too small. 21. Too small still. 26. Touch big. 25. Perfect. There you go, size 25 then. Bunch of interlocking rings. Guys, if you question whether this actually looks like chainmail, if you ever think this looks a bit weird or it looks a bit simplistic or whatever, I promise you, print it and paint it and you'll see why I favour this method. And then the bonus with this one is, if you try and do nano mesh or you try and do surface noise or you try any of those other methods, you've got to figure out and work with like joints in your chainmail or bits where the chainmail disconnects and doesn't work properly. So unless you do, when you see tutorials online, you see it you'll see them do it on a cylinder or a ball or something like that. You'll rarely ever see somebody chainmail a model. The contours you get on an actual miniature when you're trying to do chainmail are ridiculous, and trying to get your mesh uniform enough for you to be able to use a nano mesh or a surface noise modifier or whatever else, it's just, you'll spend so much time faffing with it and it never looks the best. As much as you might hate the idea of placing the individual rings, you've got to remember here, look how big the rings are. They'll look perfectly like chainmail on a model when it's printed, 32mm scale, 28mm scale, even up to like 75, but the thing you'll really notice is when it paints, it really does look like chainmail on the end piece, which is obviously the most important bit, isn't it? Doesn't matter what it looks like on screen, it's all about the painted product, the end piece. I'll get rid of that one. I forgot about that one. Last time I was doing it, I put this one ring in there and it was just obscenely too big. I don't know why. Right, now, I need that. Let's get his hand out of the way. Right, do I stick with a tomahawk type axe for him? Do I give him that, or should I put a sax knife in his hand? What do we think? And here's the other thing with these rings, if you ever position one and you can't get it quite right, it's really easy to just isolate it and then just move it around. Needs rotating around, it's a bit high up. I think this needs rotating around a touch. It's got to be at least halfway between the two. Quick save. Oh God, I'm just going to pop you on a BRB for a second.